welcome back to the stream. Welcome to the new stream for today, guys. I'm super pumped and excited. So yesterday I did a stream. We finally got the details for the new Canon mirrorless camera, the Canon Eos R, that's coming out, and it's supposed to be coming out we're supposed to be getting an announcement made by Canon on September 5th, which is Wednesday of this week. Then today, so yesterday I did the stream. We were going over the details between them and Panasonic. We didn't have a lot of details for Panasonic, and I'm trying to figure that stuff out. So I'm gonna see if I can find some details for the today's stream. And then today, just now, I'm just finding out that Canon, we got the full specs finally, because we were thinking that yesterday we were like, okay, it's gonna be 4K video. What kind is it? You know, I think based off the weight, it's not going to be built-in in-body image stabilization. But with their digital, they've been doing it for a while now. It's sufficient. It's not the best. But then this is the lower model that's supposed to be coming out. Nikon released two cameras, one to compete with the A7 III, A7R III. Canon's doing the same thing. So this one that we're getting right now, this EOS R, I believe it to be the one to compete with the A7 III. And then we should be getting one later on around this Photokina. That should be later in September, and we'll see what kind of specs. That one should have better specs than this one. But let's jump into it. I'm super pumped. I'm just now seeing the specs for the first time. I didn't pre-look at anything. I said, daggone it, I'm going live right now. I told my niece, we were hanging out watching cartoons, and I said, daggone it. I said, listen, I gotta go do a live. She's like, okay. So let's jump into it. Michael, what's up? What's up? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. So let's jump over to the thing here. Let's see. For whatever reason, that's not showing full all the way. 1 second, guys. My bad. That's better. Okay. Dang, I don't like that one. All right. Hold on. Let me get myself together here because I didn't set up the stuff. Let's get this. Let me get my life together here. Super pumped. Yes, man, I really am, because super excited. I think that's sufficient. Let me see here. I didn't set this up before I got my life together and came in here today, so bear with me for just a hot second and we'll jump to this. Yeah, current application. So okay, there we go. Okay. Good to go. No, I cannot take my time today. Today, we got to jump to it. This is hot, fresh off the press. My niece didn't care none about that. I said, Dad, I said, this is like better than sliced bread. Good news type. She was like, okay, Auntie Diana. So whatever. I'm a nerd. It's all good. So let's do it. I'm ready. I got my stuff together. Let's go. So full specs. I'm reading it for the first time with you all. So let's see what we get here. So this is coming from Nokashita, which is this, I think it's a Japanese company or a website or something like that. So you go to canonrumors.com. It's right on the front page there. That's where all the details and stuff it's coming from. I put the link down in the description for this video if you want to check it out on your own later on or whatever. But if you're on the stream, thanks for joining in. Thanks, Michael, for being here. Anybody else that joins in, make sure you hit that thumbs up, likes up button, thumbs up, like button, whatever. So number of effective pixels, 30.3 million pixels. So, okay, that's good. JPEG RAW, 14-bit RAW. And then this compressed RAW is actually pretty cool too. I've been playing around with that on the Canon M50. So that compressed RAW is actually really interesting. So 14-bit, let's see how that fully expands. So dual pixel RAW support. Okay. EVF, I'm not worried about that, because it's usually good. Autofocus points, 5,655 points. Okay. Dual pixels is man. Okay, so I'm thinking this thing's gonna be a low light beast with this -6 EV for the exposure value. That this should be a really, really solid camera as far as low light capabilities, which is why I know some people were concerned or complaining about the kit lens being an f4. But if you're looking at the fact that the camera itself is still good in low light, then, you know, if you swap out, get another lens, they got a nice, decent lens that's lineup that's coming out. So that should be cool. We got shutter speed, 1/8,000 of a second, 30 seconds for the bulb, ISO sensitivity from 1 to 40,000. Okay. Again, this should be a low light beast. I'm really curious once they release, I'm sure like DP Review and all the rest of the channels out there have these test models in their hand already. Not test models, because Canon, there's one thing about Canon, they released the actual real deal product, which is something that's different than what I'm really shocked Nikon did that. Like, you keep having everybody emphasize pre-production so close to the launch date. You should be giving people pretty much the full model, but that's usually what Canon does. So that's something we can expect. Whatever we get is going to be a complete product. So that's what I expect, at least this go around as well. So let's see here. Continuous shooting performance up to 8 frames per second. At servo, autofocus up to 5 frames per second. So 8 frames, you know, again, this is the A7 III model, so it's going to be comparable specs so far. So far, I'm liking what I'm hearing. We're 2.1 million dot touch panel. The touch panels with the Canons are really good, as well as with Panasonic. And so that, you know, it's just like, the thing that I didn't like watching the Nikon footage is that you see them swipe, and then the image goes. Swipe, and then the image goes. And it's like, what, you know, 2010 technology, you know, cheap smartphone, free phone you get at T-Mobile technology is this? Not T-Mobile, let's say Sprint, because theirs was definitely crappy. All right, so we get recording medium, so that you can use the SD, SDHC, SDXC cards, and Sony released those tough SD cards, so that's going to be really cool. LPE6 battery, we already covered that yesterday. It's the same battery that's like in a 70D, 80D, and all that good stuff, so should be pretty decent. As far as the size, weight, they're saying 660 grams, which is pretty cool. Again, it's including the battery and the memory card. That's probably the more or less kind of like a G85 type. That's kind of like something like this here, as far as like and this is good. This feels good. So I can only imagine this one does as well. All right, so recording, and I think I had it someplace. Yeah, 4K. So I'm skipping over stuff. So I completely skipped over the 4K video. 4K video, 30 frames per second. I would have liked to seen, just for competitiveness sake, 4K 60, but that's fine. They are doing the full HD. So here's the play on words here. Full HD, which is 1080p at 60 frames per second, which that's their bread and butter. They could have a mouse and it'll have 1080p 60 frames per second. You know, I don't care what they release. They could release a microwave. They'll put 1080p 60 frames per second. You know, it's just like whatever. So they put 1080p 60 frames per second in any of their stuff. So that's cool. 720p 120 frames per second. We know it's 720p because anytime they just only state HD, that's just 720p. Anytime they state full HD, that's going to be 1080p. So I think they are playing it safe, probably because this higher end A7R3 comparable model that's going to be coming out, that one should be hopefully better. I would have liked to have seen them. The 4K 30, that's fine, because it's only 4K 24 frames per second, which is what I use, 24 frames per second in any of my videos. 30 frames per second with the G85, but I would have liked to have seen them do something else. The 720p 120 frames, I guess it's in Canon's way of thinking, that's what they do. Because the M50 has 720p at 120 frames per second. The question is it going to have this jello effect when you are panning in the 4K? And is it a contrast-based detection system in 4K, or is it 1080p? not 1080p, or is it the dual pixel autofocus like in 1080p in 4K video? So let's see. Let's keep scrolling and see what else. Michael's making fun of me because I said they could have a mouse with 10 and they would do 1080. I don't care what they release. Microwave, remote control, 1080p, 60. That's the best they're gonna give you. All right. Lenses. We know the lenses are RF. That's the new mount. We're good with all of that stuff. We went over that. All self-cleaning sensor unit, dust deletion. So okay, that's great. That's great. All right, let's see here. Okay, these image quality and all this stuff. You can check this out if images are important to you. But I don't really care about photo specs. I'm trying to see what's good with the video. File numbering system. Really, Canon, we don't care about the file numbering system. We don't care about that. Picture style, auto, standard, portrait, fine, landscape, neutral, monochrome. So this is just the basic Canon picture styles. They're not giving any flat profiles or any log profiles in this one. So this is just the regular stuff. Auto, standard, portrait, landscape, fine detail, neutral, faithful. I use the faithful profile when I'm doing videos. Monochrome, and then you get 3 user defined. So that's the same as the M50. Yeah, that's the same as the M50. White balance. Okay, this is the new one that's also coming with the M50. Ambience priority or white priority, which is cool. I like that as a different. Yeah, just like file system. Nobody care about this stuff, but this is like their stuff that'll go on the website. So, don't care about none of this stuff. OLED. Some people may, like I said, I put the link down below so you can follow along, or if you want to check it out later, you can. Image quality and the cropping, 100%, approximately 100% for all of that stuff. Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm trying to find I want to find the juicy stuff. Anti-flicker shooting, lens optimization. Don't care about none of that stuff. Viewfinder. Okay, don't care. Okay, autofocus. Okay, that's great. So, phase difference detection system with image sensor, dual pixel autofocus. Okay. So, is that just for images? Or it's saying it's got dual pixel autofocus. It's not saying I'm not seeing contrast. Did we get dual pixel autofocus in video? That's all I want to see. ISO, all that stuff is good. I don't expect them to mess with some stuff. So you get the regular same ones. Okay, don't care about none of that stuff. Don't care about none of this stuff. Dang, how long is this thing? Shoot now. Drive systems, single. Okay, all that stuff is good. I don't care. Image quality. Hear my St. Louis coming out. I don't care. Focusing. Okay, again, I'm only seeing dual pixel autofocus. I feel like maybe did we? So it's got the all eye. So that'll be cool. So video shooting. Here's where we're going. MP4. I'm glad I'm not seeing motion JPEG in 4K because that's what they did on the 5D Mark IV. Video recording. Okay. Full HD, 60 frames per second, not available doing the cropped EFS crop shooting. So if you're going to put a lens on here, whoa, hold on now. It's saying full HD 60 frames per second is not available. This EFS is the crop sensor, so that's like the lenses that would be with the 80D and stuff like that. This is a full frame camera. So if they have a mode where you can go to, like Sony has, where you can go to APS-C and use those lenses, or if you put those on there, like I'm like, come on now. Okay, so we get 4K at 30, 24, all eye, which is the good one. So you do get the good codecs in there. So it's not going to be the codecs like you saw in the 6D Mark II, because there is a little bit of a difference that you can see in the 6D Mark II. So, okay. At least you get the all-eye and 720p, 120 frames. Give me the gosh darn good news. Give me the good news, Canon. Okay. Still got the 30-minute recording limit on here. 7 minutes and 30 seconds for if you're going to do 120 frames per second. So that's this part right here. So that's telling us we only get 7.5 minutes if you're going to do 720p, 120 frames per second. Otherwise, you still get the 30-minute recording limit. Now, this is the difference where you start looking at all eye is when I scroll back up here, this right here. You'll hear a lot of people talk about that, Michael, when talking about the ADD and how good at video it is, not like a dual pixel autofocus, but like the quality. So that's that. I think it's like their compression rate or system or whatever. So that's what that is. Let's see here. So again, this is where the difference between Panasonic and Canon is, because there is no recording limit on the G85. The G90, I don't know if the G90 is still going to be a micro four thirds sensor camera, or if this full frame camera that they have coming out, I think the G90 is still going to be a regular upgrade. It's still going to be micro four thirds. I think this full frame camera may be something completely different and something new. I heard somebody say something about it being called the G1, but yeah, so they're going to pay the daggone tax, Canon. Give it to us. Give us the whole hour to record or whatever. But it's fine. We're used to it. But just tell me if I can do dual pixel autofocus. Alright, so video recording size, all this stuff. Guys, I don't see on here contrast detection autofocus at all so far, which is good, which means that, as far as I can tell, it looks like we may have dual pixel autofocus in the 4K. It's not to say that it may not be cropped, but we'll have to wait and see when the videos and stuff like that come out. So yeah, we'll have to see. This gets into a lot more details than I care to. It's getting into all the image stuff and all that good jazz. I don't really care about all of that. So, you know, all of this stuff, Wi-Fi, that's great and wonderful. But as far as I can tell, it looks like I didn't see contrast-based detection anywhere on here when it talks about any of this stuff. Now, here's the thing. I think you can do USB charging in here. USB Type-C. You're going to be able to charge this camera. That's dope. That's dope. That's something I wished every camera had. My ZS70 has that. And I just, like last night, I was using it and I plugged it into the wall. Just plugged it in, or I can plug it into my battery bank. Yeah, they give us something. They give us one thing and then they take one thing away. But first full frame camera, it's not bad. It's not bad. They did do the USB charging thing. You can do in-camera charging. That's dope. USB-C. Oh, man. Okay, so let's see the video out. Images can be displayed. Okay, so that's good. But could you record to? So, like, where's my thingy? I think I took it out of here. But you have the, oh, here it is. So you have these external hard drives. Let me come back to myself real quick. So you have these external hard drives. So this is the Samsung T5, 250 gigabytes. So this is you can do a USB 3.0 to USB-C or USB-C to USB-C cord. So it has a USB-C thing on there. Do we have the ability, like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera that's coming out, the new one, that's also supposed to be releasing, can we take one of these, plug it into the camera, and record to this via USB-C? That's what I want to know too. Like, how much of this stuff are we getting? Because if you can charge through it, which is phenomenal. I love charging through the camera. That's, because it's like everybody talks about battery life. Like, I don't care that you get 2 hours recording limit with the M50 or any other battery or whatever, because as long as you get a USB charger, you can just take a battery bank and just keep going. So it doesn't matter. But let's get back to this list. I want to see what else can I find. What else is some good stuff on here. But far as I can see, I didn't see contrast detection autofocus on here anywhere. Y'all let me know if you have any questions of any of this stuff. But this is like the full spec readout for the thing, so I'm pretty sure it's stuff on here that I'm probably missing and overlooking. So that's the whole list. Man, that's a lot. So let's scroll back up to the top here. So essentially, at the end of the day, you can charge it inside the camera. Oh man, that's so good. It's going to be weather sealed. Not like complete, like drop it in water, use it, but it'll be good. Splash proof, dust proof. We got charging in the battery, charging in-body charging. We do not have built-in in-body image stabilization. And as far as I could tell, we do not have to deal with the contrast autofocus. That's dope. That's dope. Guys, this is the A7 III comparable one, 14-bit raw image style. So I'm wondering, like, for videos though, like, they just, I don't know. I'm just really curious. Okay. Like I said, I don't see this contrast detection autofocus anywhere when it comes to video specs and stuff like that. But otherwise, we pretty much got all the stuff that just about all the stuff that we would have wanted. So we got the 4K 30 frames per second. They still are doing the 720p 120 frames per second, which is pretty long in the tooth in my opinion. They should have just did 1080p. Like, seriously, it's only $1,000 more, less than, that $1,000 more or somewhere thereabout than the M50. Just do it, but I guess they don't want to take people away from the sales that would be for the M50, but it's fine. So yeah, no in-body image stabilization, which is fine. The digital is fine as long as you turn off that enhanced. That's when you see it like warping and flipping, and at the tops of the videos, it looks ridiculous when somebody has that on and you see that. So that's all that really is. But otherwise, as far as I can tell, I'm going back through the list as far as the video stuff is concerned, because that's all I'm really concerned with. Picture stuff usually is fine. You still get the dual pixel autofocus. I didn't see anywhere in the section that talks about video. I didn't see anywhere where it talked about so it's not motion JPEG, it's MP4. It's not so right here they're telling us it's MP4. It's not the motion JPEG in the 4K like it is. We get the all I, so that's good for as far as the compression and stuff like that. I'm curious about this. They saying you can't do the full HD, so 1080p 60 frames per second is not available during the EFS crop shooting. So I guess when you drop down to this, from full frame to an APS-C, just using that type of sensor readout, then the 1080p 60 is not available. So that's a thing. Bitrate indicates video output only. Audio is not included. So still 30 frames per, not 30 frames per second, still 30-minute recording limit, 7 minutes 30 seconds on 120 frames per second, which is fine. I don't think most people may use more than that, but at any one time or another. Let's see, trying to see what else. Just trying to make sure I didn't cover anything. Then we can wrap this up because I'm cool with this. I don't see no contrast detection autofocus nowhere on here. So that's good. Thank you. Finally, Canon. Jeez Louise. All right, so that's it. That's all she wrote. When it comes to video, Canon is very good now, and it is going to be the same quality video as in the 80D, using the all-eye, not the same as in the 6D Mark II. They didn't put the MPEG 4 like they did for the 5D Mark IV. That was ridiculous. It's going to be MP4 video. There are going to be some limitations when it comes to, you know, the time limit for us, the 120 frames per second. That I wonder, is that going to be better quality in 720p than it is in the M50? I would hope so. So, most of the things that are wrong with the M50 are just artificially gimped stuff. I wanted to see real quick, could I find out any of the rumors for the Panasonic full frame camera, because they have one for the G90, but as far as we know, it's just going to be the full frame. So some questions that I have about the full frame for Panasonic is, are you still going to be able, because the bodies now that they have for like the GH5, all that stuff is big enough to put the full frame sensor in there, but is it going to be, you know, still the in-body image stabilization, which I would assume it would be? Is it still going to be the contrast detection autofocus? So I'm thinking, from what we just saw today, I'm thinking that it's not going to be any issues with the 4K. It may be cropped slightly, but it should be dual pixel autofocus in this EOS R, hopefully. Some limitations, some other limitations, minor limitations, I think, around the video, just Canon stuff, Canon's cripply issues and stuff like that. But far as we can tell, and I'm just looking at 43rumors.com. So basically, if you look at the current size and amount for the GH5, and that's a micro four thirds sensor, and then you have this upgraded one, which they're saying the Leica SL mount, it would fit. And they have a partnership with Leica. That's why you see those little L's in the bottom of the cameras. They have a partnership with Leica. So they should be able to adapt their mount to the new cameras, already have lenses and stuff like that available, and fit the full frame sensor in there. So that's an idea that they're saying, and that's just really speculation on what could happen, because the body in itself, if they changed nothing else about the GH5, it would fit it. It would fit it. So yeah, I'm really curious. They don't give a lot of speculation as far as the details, but if there's anything like what the GH5 currently is, with some type of dual pixel autofocus type, you know, phase detection autofocus, it should be good. It should be good. So we'll find out at Photokina when Panasonic does their press release. I wouldn't put it past them to do that G90 and this full frame camera at the same time. It's rumored, the full frame camera is rumored to be called the G1. So we'll have to see. Man, it's exciting times in the camera world. So let me jump to the comments real quick. So Michael, you saying this is 2018. What is this 720p BS? 1080p should be minimum. And I agree. I think unless they're going to do 4K 60p with that, you know, whatever the new other full frame one, the higher end one that should compete with the A7R III, unless they're going to put 480, unless they're going to put 4K, 60 frames per second in that one. Maybe finally that'll be that one to have the first in-body image stabilization, and it'll have when I'm thinking of saying all this stuff with Canon, it seems ridiculous because they always cut something. We'll give you this, but we won't give you that kind of deal. But whatever, hopefully it'll have all the stuff and give people an option. So we'll see. But Michael's saying I might as well get an A7S III. Now here's the big kicker with that. Canon just opened up a door. Despite whatever else they do, whatever else they choose to do, they just opened up a door. A full frame. If nothing else, I don't care if it's dual card slots or not, because that's one thing with the picture on the that we saw yesterday on the stream. This one thing with the picture, it's wide enough, like this one is, but that's just one card slot for the G85. That's just one card slot. But I'm wondering if they could kind of finagle it to get two in there, because that grip is much bigger than this one is. So I wonder, at least by the pictures, it looks like that. So is it just kind of a little slightly staggered kind of dual card slots, or is it just legit one card slot? So that's the thing. But if nothing else changes, they don't do nothing else, Canon opened up a door that Sony is going to have to answer. Full frame mirrorless camera, dual pixel autofocus, Canon colors, flip out screen. Those are 4 things. Now that right there deserves the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame award. Okay, it puts it on the Bee's Knee. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be a thing on my channel. The Bee's Knees Hall of Fame. Okay, the G85 is definitely a part of the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame. For beginner cameras, I'd put the M50 as the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame award, and the A7 III. It's on the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame. You got those two things. But if the A7S III did do anything, they could do a flip out screen and shut it all down. Because Sony is guaranteed to give you all the goodness. All the goodness. But Canon, like I said, Canon opened up this door doing a full frame mirrorless camera with a flip out screen with Canon colors and dual pixel autofocus. I don't care if they don't do nothing else. People will get that camera for those 4 reasons alone. So because you have the option, no flip out screen, and have to spend another couple $100 on getting a monitor, and now you got this big bulky system that is pretty much only tripod ready, or just say that you trust the camera and just hold it and hope, but you don't know if the battery goes dead or nothing, or just go ahead and buy you a Canon camera. You may get both. They very well may get the A7 III and this EOS R, simply because it has its full frame, it's lightweight, and it has a flip out screen, and it's Canon colors and dual pixel autofocus. So they're going to sell this camera regardless. If for nothing else, for those reasons, that's why Nikon, they tripped when they didn't do the flip out screen, because if everything else the same, full frame mirrorless flip out screen, in-body image, all they had to do is put a flip out screen, and some of that other stuff would have been forgiven. But they didn't. So, yep, the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame. I'm calling it right now. Sony always, so Mike, you're saying, but Sony always makes you pay, as does everybody else. One way or the other. Everybody does something. Panasonic, Micro Four Thirds, terrible autofocus in the grand scheme of camera stuff. Olympus, great image stabilization, in-body image stabilization, autofocus issues. But they're coming along. They're supposed to be doing something too. Fuji, really good. Really good. I don't have any complaints about them. But no flip out screen. So let's just say that. If that, just to name stuff off. Sony, great job now with all the stuff that they're doing now. Improved color science, all of that features and all of that. No touchscreen or limited touchscreen capabilities, which is silly in 2018. no flip out screen. So that's a thing, but the A7000 is coming, or A6700 or something. So we'll see. Even if the A7S III doesn't, the A6700 or the A7000 might. And then that'll compete with this new EOS R. So that's a thing. Fuji got the X-T3 supposed to come out. That's a thing. Panasonic, I hope they got their autofocus game together, because I would not invest in this system a second time for the same issues. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't. If I had to upgrade again, I'd get either the new full frame mirrorless camera that Panasonic has, if it's really good, because there are features, a lot of features that none of the Canons have at all. Like when I do the story, whatever, and the cameras talking to each other, is kind of like a whatever stop motion video. Those cameras don't have that. Yeah, you can take a picture and move it little bit by little bit, but that one shows you like a ghosting effect to know exactly where the placement is coming from, where you're going to, and this, that, or whatever, so I can completely get the storyline right. None of the Canon cameras have that. My ZS70 point and shoot camera has it, but none of the Canons have it. So that's the thing. You know, everybody does something. Nikon is your granddaddy's camera company. I don't even know what to say about them. I don't like them. I never would buy them. It's nothing they could ever do to get my dollar. I don't care what they do. They could do it all right, and I still wouldn't want to buy it, because it's just Nikon. It's just weird. It's just a camera I'm not interested in, a brand or whatever. So yeah, man, that's it. That's all that she wrote. So guys, I'm pumped. I'm super excited. This is Bee's Knees Hall of Fame type specifications here. So this is, and I did this because I was messing with my niece, and I told her it's the best thing. I said new camera specs is the best thing since sliced bread, and I was like, sliced bread, it's the best thing since they chopped it and put it in freaking plastic, tied it up, and gave it to you. It's the best thing. So, but that's all we got. Nikon never had the juice. Who got the juice now? Nikon never had the juice. They never did. I agree. This is your granddad's camera company. They not fun. They not easy. They're not attractive to me. And I don't care what they do. They're not attractive to me. They'd have to really wow me. Like, I don't like the camera. Like, it just looks weird to me. I don't know. Whatever. It just looks weird. So yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to hop off to save the integrity of the stream and not overdo it. Yeah, that's all we got for today. As far as we know, Panasonic's new full frame mirrorless camera is supposed to be at the press release, September 25th. At this Photokina is supposed to be allegedly called the G1. We'll see if more specs and stuff like that release. I had no intentions of doing this stream or nothing like that today. But specs dropped, so we had to do it. We got to do it. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching on the replay. Hit the thumbs up like button. I don't want to say likes up button. Hit the thumbs up button. Like the video. If you have any questions, let's keep the conversation going in the comments down below. What did you want Canon to do? What are you looking forward to them doing in their A7R III type camera? And out of all these that are coming out of here, this, got Fuji, Panasonic, even Olympus is talking about doing something. Sony is going to drop some fire. They ain't even got to do no daggone advertisement. Sony just drops bombs, just out of nowhere. You wake up in the morning, you might as well call off work because you need to stay and watch the cart open so you can pre-order. That kind of stuff. But which camera would you get? What camera specs do you want that may be missing? But that's it, guys. But as always, live with passion. I'll see you guys on the next video here on Entree Women TV. Take care, guys.